like the good life. Shaking hands, man to man, some suits and he's got it in. Rubbing elbows with all the need to knows, where the girls are just as fine as the brand. Ain't no love like the good love, ain't no fun like the good fight. Been strung out, I've been clean, somewhere in between the dark and the light. There ain't no life like the good life.
Gentlemen, good to see everybody. John Boston, legendary John Boston, Mr. Sam Fisher, Mr. Manage Roy, Mega in the chat with the funny name, Metal Gear Punisher. X-Mask, good to see you, Betty. Project Daisy. Yeah, I knew that was you. Gone with John is in the chat. John did a good little stream this morning. Good stuff. Denny, good to see you. Harshit all the way from India as well. Wolf King back in the chat. Guys, this is supposed to be a good little event this morning about our very first girlfriends. And I will talk about what my first girlfriend, good to see who, her name was Gina Walker. I was 14, almost 15, going into sophomore year. She was 6 months younger than me and a year younger in school. Same year we were born, 72. And I was smitten at that age. Met her at a dance, met her at a church dance. And, well, we started dancing. It was like one of my third or fourth dance. She went to a neighboring school in a different school district. She wasn't of the same religion, but we met and danced, and I got her phone number. This was 86. This was 1986. I got her phone number and I called her. Back then there was no call waiting. It was you either got them or it went to the busy. Very few people at that time had answer machines either. Let's see. Who says love is fickle? Yes, sure, Bob, and outright crazy wolf. Yes, Mormon dances. So my parents would not let me date till I was 16. So we could go to dances at 14. So between 14 and 16, you could go to dances, which is was not bad. Let's see. Mega says, I'd say love is blind and I need cataracts. Cataracts for 300. Anyhow, met her at the dance that night. We left, we slow danced. And then I kissed her that night. Well, we went outside and she kissed me and it was so awkward. It was my very first kiss of all time. She had braces. I had nerdy glasses at the time. And I kissed her. Boy, did my Johnson rise to a level that I'd never understood. That moment that her body was pressed against mine. It was outside and next to the brick wall. So we were outside. Everybody's in dancing. And she had pulled me out. She's, let's go outside. I'm hot. And basically, she had all of the what was the initiative to start kissing me. Apparently, she had kissed before. She had to have, right? Getting a phone number was a huge deal. Well said. My best friend's recovering Jehovah Witness. Interesting. Life was still in black and white when I started dating. Attaboy, great quote. So we start kissing. Literally, I mean, it was like I was in heaven. I probably, yeah, my Johnson did things that I never knew happened. I kissed her with slobbering zits. She was tonguing me. I don't know what this is. French kissing me, right? Crazy. And then 15 minutes later, we went back inside. And I'm just like, my heart's beating. I felt a woman's breasts, or a girl. Well, she's 14 and 3 months, and I was 14 and 9 months or whatever. And I could just, a 14-year-old at that point is like basically a 17-year-old, right? So because of their bodies developed, and just feeling the body against me was just, man, I had never felt the hug of a girl kissing me and feeling her boobs on weakling body, and it was just crazy. And I'm going to talk about what I learned from that experience. My first girlfriend was this Italian girl. My dad found out I was going out with her. He said, "Get away. Her dad's mafioso. Your dad knew something." Looked like a fat Elvis. Interesting. Rise up from your grave. Norman, many men marry for sex and beauty. Women marry for sex and luxury. Men want caring nature from a woman, not love. And women want values from a man, not love. Love is so different between the sexes, Norman. Well said. Remember when color TV was new and a selling advertisement for the lodging industry? I remember we had black and white, big old Zenith black and white TV. Damn thing was like probably 1,000 pounds. Black and white. Till in high school, we got a color TV. So yeah, Altered Beast Peony. There you go. From a form, the blazing sword. I'm telling you guys, that was the very first time my wiener did things that it never did before. I remember my first date launching rubber bands from my braces with an usher's flashlight in my face, kissing attaboy. Pedro Valentin, good to see you. So I got her number, left the dance, and I said, she lived about 4 miles away, and the only way I could get there, I had to lie to my parents because I couldn't date. And I never lied to my parents at that point. I began getting really good at skateboarding during this time. And I would skateboard. I would ride to her house. She would actually say, "Okay, you need to meet me in the field behind my house. I don't want my mom to know. She won't let me." So I would skateboard literally all the way to her house, 4 miles, and I would be just rushing, gushing with it, like, "Oh, I can't wait to see her." And I get there all nervous, you know, and all we did was make out. All we did is kiss. Never laid down with her, but I stood up with her and kissed her, and she'd rub her leg against my knee, and we would just slob and eat suck face literally for an hour. And we talked for a little. The talking was very minimal, very little, you know. Oh, you know, stupid things like, "Did you see that show the other night?" Or "That movie looks cool." Had nothing in common with her except that I was just smitten with making out with her. Kissing her. I mean, she was nuts, kissing my ear, you know, all the craziness. She was slobbering on me, but I didn't give a damn. This was the very first girl. Again, her name was Gina Walker. And I got to find out what happened to her. Form the blazing penetrator. Yep. I never touched her. Never touched her boobs. I think I touched her butt. That's it. I was too scared to do that. I didn't know. It was all about sucking face. And we would meet up for probably two times a week, 2 to 3 times a week for like 3 weeks, and then it was over. Then guess what, guys? Guess what I learned? A big lesson. She monkey branched to another guy that was 2 years older. Now, I was a little sad because obviously, but I wasn't broken. I wasn't hurt or whatever. But I liked her, and she quit taking my calls. She actually told me, "Well, I like this other guy now." So, which was fine because we didn't go to the same school. We lived far apart. We weren't the same religion. There was no cell phones. There was no texting, no internet. So it was easy to get over her. Stealing a TV was a commitment. TVs today, they don't know the struggles. No, they don't. Pulling your schlong out usually works for me on a date. I remember she made my privates feel funny. Ma'am, did she ever? Manage Roy, women by nature are immoral. They make man immoral too. Well, I'm telling you, she was the Eve in my world. She was my first Eve. Only your mother, sister, or grandmother will care for you about values. Other women will care for you if you have value. Even being a gentleman is also value, but you must have values. Well said. This is some red pill truth. So I remember the metal bitches went for the bad boys and older guys. She was a pretty much a jock, big hair, pretty face, braces. Oh, but just touching my body to her body and feeling those breasts. Oh, still remember it today. But I'm going to tell you what I learned from that. Denny says, I didn't date till 2 years after graduation. I learned a lot in 15 years from my ex. I'll never put up again. I was young and dumb and full of blank. I got great daughters in the end. Good for you. So what I learned was this, how strong a woman's biology can hijack a man. I was hijacked. Oh, I was feeling feelings I never thought. I probably fell in love with her the first kiss because I didn't know what those emotions meant. How many men have been in that situation where the literal hijacking of her biology to yours makes you do crazy things? The chemicals, the rush, the feeling of a woman's body next to you. I got beat up by a 5th grade with an umbrella. That's because they lie. My dad always say, if she makes fun of you or yells at you or hits you, she likes you. It's always her sex. Men are just visitors. Ooh, well said, X-Mask. Riff Ridge, good to see you. Eve B, about deception. What about gold diggers? Well, that comes later in life. We're just talking about the original experience. Total violation for me. Fight or flight response would be off the charts, says Mega. Justin is back. Morning to you. Chain, shackles, and chastity belts from sea to shining sea. Why did they have chastity belts then? Was it for the man to not enter or the woman to control her biology? Project says women and men never their loves will fit our live lives, nor fix anything, only follow towards a man disposability. That's why my first girlfriend and every gal afterwards, even my ex-wife. No, I'm not in high school yet at this point. I'm in junior high. 9th grade is high school, was junior high where I grew up. I wasn't a sophomore yet. And then I met other chicks sophomore year. True story. Absolutely. My brother pushed me out the door. Turns out she was a psycho. Interesting. Number 1, what I learned, how important, how crazy her biology can hijack a man. Number 2, she monkey branched. I didn't know what monkey branching was. I figured, she got a new boyfriend, whatever. Normal, par for the course. I got my 3 weeks, 4 weeks of making out. Learned about kissing a woman, learned about female biology, learned about my biology, getting that Johnson hard as a rock, having a little bit of exiting of a certain thing, a certain substance. My heart beating, what a woman can really do, the chemicals I felt, the hormones. There's another thing. I learned about hormones, right? That kind of goes in with the biology piece. But I started realizing that, man, never in my life did my wiener get that hard, ever, that I could remember back then. Sam says from 18 to 80, a lot of them, yeah, pretty much. Now we call them 5-year-olds with breasts. Pete says, marry a Becky, divorce a Karen. Ain't that the truth? Women are fully aware of their seductive power of their body early on. Bingo. Now, here's what I also learned. I lied to my parents. I began deception because I wanted to be with a woman. How many of us have been deceptive? Maybe to our friends. Oh, I'm not seeing her, when you really are. Or, you had to lie to your parents to go see a girl, right? John Boston said that the dad did not want you seeing the mafioso's daughter. So we begin to tell lies. Well, they're little lies, but they're still lies at the most part. We get off our morals, right? We get off our morals. Only if they legalize prostitution. There you go. Jason Reed from Colorado is in the chat. Monkey branching, even at that age, they will always be true to their nature. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. Right? Beefcake, good to see you, brother. Listening to you keeps me on the right path, and the further away from the bullcrap I am, the more I can see what's really happening. Thank you so much, mate. We'll appreciate you being here. But here's the biggest lesson. During those 3 to 4 weeks, all I thought was about this girl. I thought about when was the next time I was going to make out with her? When was the next time I was going to call? She hijacked not only my biology, but my mind. I quit skateboarding with my buddies during this time. I gave up my life for her at age 14. Or the things that I like to do. Because before that, every day after school, I'd be skating with my buddies till dinner time, then go to dinner, then skate a couple more hours till it got dark, and went home, did some homework, went to bed, went rinse and repeat every day. So I gave up. My friends were like, "Where are you at?" "Oh, I'm hanging out with this gal." "Well, dude, we got to skate. We got to skate." I gave up doing so many things because I wanted to see her. I wanted to be with her. And so those are the 5 things I learned. Same with my first girlfriend, all are 5-year-olds with busts. I would agree with that statement because they're emotional. After them, we let them off the chastity belts. We kept our muskets close for when we encountered a suspicious character anywhere near our dwelling. Hence the code Dwello was born. Justin de Fiblander. First pink poon I saw at a sleepover. Sister's friend came out laughing naked, dropped her towel. I was 12. Wowzers. And you remember that, right? How many of you are remembering your first girlfriend at this point? Does any of this make sense? Does any of it hit home that your biology went nuts? That woman had a power but you had a lust. You wanted her so bad. Did you give up things in your life for this woman? Did you stop hanging out with your friends? Did she hijack all of your thoughts? Did you think about her in school? Did she write you notes and you spent a day responding to her note? Now we're going back to the 80s. So today would be text messaging. Today, a 12-year-old girl claiming a boy, let's see, knowing he is showing her blank assets, that is not a provocation. Well, it happens a lot. I should have kept to the skate park. I should have. My skate crew are a bunch of a-holes. We had our own skate crew. Team Vicious was our name. Wolf King Sigma, once you see one, you want to see the others. Girls are crafty as hell. Even at 16, hypergamy always overrides everything else, and young guys think it's real love from there. Sure. I learned a lot, man. I was a blue pill simp in so many regards. But then I quit seeing her, and I went probably 6 months skating again, hung out. We got a bunch of folks in high school. And then it was the girlfriend named Rhonda, who was 2 years old. She was a senior. And she was the first gal that ghosted me. I told you that story when she graduated and everything. But I had a good 6-month ride. And then she liked me and I didn't like her. I'm like, dude, she's too old, right? She's gonna graduate. I like girls that were my age at that time. I had a lot of friends around me, so the average woman did not have me locked into her when I was a kid. You probably saved yourself a lot of mystery and heartache, Mysterio. The mighty Mysterio from Winnipeg. Good to see you. X-Mass says, my first girlfriend used to tell her friends about my sexual performance. Jeez. They all talked, right? So it's crazy when you think about it. What you did learn, what you weren't really understanding, what eventually you find out later in life from that first girlfriend. So how did this shape me? Well, good thing it only lasts 3 to 4 weeks. I think I saw her like 8 or 9 times. The initial making out was just crazy, wonderful. Well said, Sam. They will hold you back. Nowadays, 15-year-old females look like they are 20. Black pill backer. Well said. But geez, 12-year-olds look like they're 20 now. Are you kidding me? I have seen American Prawn Star becoming a side actor in Bollywood. Yeah, maybe because they want the attention of the camera. I'd say worldly things, including pedestalizing. Yes, I put her on a pedestal, and she was younger, 6 months younger. But if you think about it, I'm glad it only lasted that long. I had a buddy that started having sex at 14, and he's still screwed up till today. He wasn't mature enough to handle that, and it caused him issues. And I've talked about him. His name was Phil. He was skateboard with us, fun and great. And before 10th grade, about the same time I'm making out with Gina Walker, he's having sex in his 14s. Now, I don't care what you think, but for him, it really messed him up because he came back to school and he was like depressed. He was different. He didn't have the drive anymore. And I think it was because he was too immature and having sex at that point. So it can be a negative if you think about it, if you're not ready. My Indian package store smells like farts when he pulls the heat on. Random. That's so random. When these hormones are raging and testosterone is coursing, amazing. The walls didn't look like Swiss cheese. Amazing the walls. There you go. Absolutely, brother. Those hormones are raging. Did I use the word worldly? Probably. X-Mask. Every woman has her own style of sex. Most gals aren't freaky enough. Could be. So what about you guys? What do you think? Do you experience some of those same situational things that I experienced at 14? Now, the second girl I made out, her name was Rhonda. She was my senior girlfriend that I just mentioned. And I was a little bit more able to control a little bit more because I had learned how to kiss or whatever, French kiss. Actually, I laid down with her. I never grabbed her boobs or anything. I was too scared at that point. My dad would always say, you get a girl pregnant and your name is Mud. So I never had sex with her either. But I made out with her and I kind of would rub my fingers along her breasts. And she had big boobs, like D's. And I would lay on top of them, though. And I get a big old, so I'd be Levi loving her, not really knowing I was Levi loving her. Right? Dry sex. Is that what they call it? But that was it. That was it. But I still skateboarded with my buddies and her. I was kind of a Chad with her, if you think about it. Skating came first, and I'd hang out with her ladies. She had a car. She'd come pick me up. We'd make out and go back home. My mom and dad did not like her because she was older and she was punk rock. Wolf says the crazy ones are the best in the sack. I cannot agree. I can only agree with that statement. Manager Roy, I was crushed by a woman and her mother at an early age, so I don't care in today's world. At the age of 10, I was crushed by a girl and her mother. Sorry to hear that, brother. At age 10, interesting. Mothers need to teach their daughters how to, okay. Men are attracted to looks, women are attracted to lifestyle. Well said, Noman. Betty, Brad, how many women have you slept with? Too many to count. Crushed by their combined weight. And you know what? Am I happy about my number? Nah. I mean, is it good for men to sleep with hundreds and hundreds of women? I didn't sleep with hundreds and hundreds of women, by the way. It was a significant amount, but I don't think it's good either, because I think at the point when I got divorced, I went on a divorce rampage before I started getting into the red pill. Well, as I was developing my thoughts and really understanding, I had a little spurt. And back then it was a lot easier. I just didn't care. But a lot of guys in here have had, we've had our fair share. We have experience. Let's say that. My first job at a store had a neutral smell when I came back from Korea. The Indian stores always smell different, don't they? My dad never said don't sleep with them. He said don't get them pregnant. I always notice that. Can you imagine, John, having a kid at age 15? I know 2 people in high school that had kids that early. I mean, now they're what? 36 years old. They probably have 3 kids themselves. I don't really care sleeping with them, but I don't like them as company, says Metal. Did you like the person? Did you like her as a first girlfriend, or was it just such a hormonal surge that you just didn't care? Gina Walker was boring as hell. She was a total soch. She loved Cyndi Lauper and Madonna and all that stuff at that time. I was into metal and punk rock. We were skateboarder. She was a tennis player, type gal. Andrew Reeves, my first girlfriend was not a girlfriend. I was at a party in Sacramento and she was an older limo driver. What she did to me was amazing. Attaboy. I think sleeping with too many persons from both males and females, probably a bit more on female side, but males also get. Yeah, I don't think it's smart. Hey, there's some content creator dating roach out there. He says he slept with 2,000 women. I'm like, dude, you still got pussy on the brain, man. Don't let her hooks get into you. Now we know, right? We know now, later in life, but when we're young at 14, 15, it was a different world. I was too scared of getting them pregnant. I was too scared of my dad. My father said, marry a foreign girl, not an American. He was smart. Hormonal surge, and it scares me now. I was talking to my buddy who's he's the simp, hasn't had sex with his wife for 6 years, but he was having sex at 14, one of these early guys, and it's delayed him too. He's a coaster. He's not ambitious. And I think it goes back to having sex at such an early age. And he said his girlfriend at the time was a year older and he thought he knocked her up. They actually went during his sophomore year to get a pregnancy test. He's like, man, I dodged a bullet. And I go, well, what happened after that? He goes, we still kept having sex without condoms. I'm like, dude, again, a woman's biology will not only hijack a man's body and hormones, it'll hijack his logic. Only 10% of men are privileged in this world. 90% of men are invisible. That's what they say. Anthony, good to see you. She was just a throwdown, huh? Good to see results oriented. You're not happy either, are you? When one of the girls got pregnant in high school, it was like hearing an alien come to Earth. Oh, absolutely. My hormones made me ignore the red flags, but I can say I indeed did actually like them at first. That's all right, Sam. That's all right, brother. Blank had a definite effect on me. It was never new back. It was new back then. I remember that. But now we are seeing Philippine women divorcing American men, and they are supposedly traditional. Sure. Female nature is universal. Male prawn dudes age horribly too. I think it's God's punishment. Oh yeah, a lot of them die. A lot of them have a lot of self-deletion too. I remember they talked a lot about AIDS back in the day, HIV. I'm on my period is the biggest excuse that ladies use to avoid putting out. Or they're not feeling emotionally connected to you. Look at Ron Jeremy now. Look at Ron Jeremy. Number one, ugly dude. But he's in prison. I think he's got dementia now. I mean, yeah, I mean, there is value to being moral. And do I regret some of the things I did? I don't know if I regret them. If I had to do things over, I might have done things differently. Not understanding the power of the biology that a woman can have over a man, sure. Might have been more selective in a lot of different ways. Maybe been more controlled my semen. I think there's power in that. Mega says prawn is a real crime and a death sentence. These women that do it. Thanks, Christian. Good to see you. What women that have prawn, their lives don't go very well. They don't go very well. Do you think Ron Jeremy is damaged due to his? Yes. They say he smelled too. Interesting. He looks like he's just an ugly looking dude. What's up to you, Christian? Even though as a young guy, I knew deep down what a waste of time chasing it was. The hormones are a strong drive. Well said, Trogue from Canada. Yeah, I mean, it's biology. It's biology. Hormones. Average men don't control society or the world. They don't control big business. They don't control companies, capitalism, or government. They control nothing. They're just like anyone else, simple men. Blood slippery. There you go. The dating roaches that claim to sleep with thousands, how many of the women are fat on drugs? Yeah, well said. My name is Mud. I don't believe a word the dude says. It'll get to you. A life of debauchery, Wolf. Well said. Rad, did your ex disrespect you behind your back? I found so many. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's just par for the course. Lots of women with high body counts who take it from him anyway and keep the clock next to the bed. There you go. His name is Hedgehog. I didn't know that. What do you think about the oofy doofies? Don't explain. I don't know what the oofy doofies are, Black Pill. Let me know what that means. I haven't woken up until my 50s. All my life, the appeal of women was only in my head, not the head below the belt. Mr. Project. T-Talks, only a couple more hours to complete a 40. Oh, good for you, brother. I'm 24 in right now. You feeling good? Try to go as long as you can. You can make 48 go longer. I met him at a bar when I visited Hollywood in 2006. He was nice, had a Rush t-shirt on, and had several gals with him. Had to say hello, and he was cool. Jet Electro. I mean, dude, the guy was like everybody. When you think of prawn, you think of Ron Jeremy, you think of John Holmes, who had apparently a 4 foot long wiener. You think of Jenna Jameson. You think of who is the big, there's only like a handful of people, but Ron Jeremy and John Holmes. We would always make fun of John Holmes in high school. Who's John Holmes? Oh, he's got the wiener that's like 2 feet long. Evolution programming, well said, who? They always talk shit, don't they? Once the relationship ends. Sure. Good to see Joseph in the chat. Jet Electro, I can't keep up with the internet slang. Had to look up what a neat was yesterday. There's a lot of slang that I don't know. Apple deleted my homemade prawn from my iCloud when I transferred to my own new phone. Wow, they've got some algorithm, huh? I don't know if she was religious. She didn't go to the same religion I went to, but I mean, she came from, her parents were pretty strict. That's what all I remember. Marilyn Chambers, there's another one. Jada Fire. They're always like a car name or some weird name, you know? Yeah, I mean, if even 1 hour past 48 is huge. See what you can do, but congrats to you, brother. Another word to look up, had to look up Dirty Sanchez. Oh, don't look that up. I know what that is. Women know that men only are into them due to the physical traits. That's why I think that women don't like aging much. Sure. Women's beauty is when in their youth. Their skin is not as thick as men. Yeah, good to see you. Very sorry to hear about your friend. Well, yeah, it was a tough call to hear that he would find life so devastating that he would do that to himself. John Bobbitt, there's another one, but appreciate that. Yeah. A black pill. Guys like that dude from the sitcom show King of Queens, Oofy Doofies. Oh, I see what you mean. Are you talking Kevin? Is his name Kevin? Justin Difflin, Peter North. Yeah, they're always something. They're always some weird name. They act weird in public like wrestlers. I think that industry is just so damaging in so many regards. But we've all seen it. We've all looked at it. We've all slapped to it. You know, even when I was 12 years old and my cousins, I was 11. My older cousins had a Playboy or a Penthouse. And me and my other cousin that was my age, who happens to be Skittles now, found it. And we were looking at it. It was the first time I ever saw a naked woman with a hairy vagina or hairy bush. Yeah. Just like when somebody, at the party earlier, the girl came out in a towel and at 12 years old saw what a naked woman looked like. I mean, that first time you saw a naked woman you don't forget that, right? Aging is why older women try to destroy young women's happiness, jealousy, repeating the cycle. Well said, Trog. What was your friend's name? Jaybird. Thanks, brother. Yeah, Jaybird. Well, Jason, we call him Jaybird. Kevin James, that's right. He was the guy in Mall Cop, right? When you think of Kevin, you think of dumb man-child. Yes. Oofy doofy. Looking younger is a product that marketed to women. They seem to waste their youth and try in vain to buy it back through cosmetics, procedures, and phone apps. Bingo, Jet Electro, laying it down to Chinatown. Well said. 100% in agreement with that. Jason Reed, total king of Sims. A lot of women they're jealous of the young women. Absolutely. Old school prawn stars, Richie from the UK. Good to see you, brother. The power of autophagy is the key. Yep. I'm almost 24 into mine. Peter North, BC, good to see you in the chat. Peter North and Ron Jeremy. The 80s and 90s prom were great new stuff. Today is bizarre and foobar. Fucked up beyond repair. I don't know any of these folks, but it is what it is. But anyhow, the prawn industry has destroyed a lot of people, a lot of people's lives. A lot of these people self-delete. A lot of these people find unhappiness, hatred. They go down really bad, dark hallways of addiction, and it's unfortunate. And all for the pleasure of men to get off on. And if you think about it, if you're watching prawn, a man nailing some chick, are you not being a cuck? Doesn't that what cucks do? Cucks watch another man nail a woman. It's crazy. I see the 98% living Eve's curse. Yeah. I got Eved by Gina Walker. Joseph likes the black lady patch. I miss the days before I messed with women. Well, you were doing the things that you like to do, right? That's what we like to do. Build tree forts, skateboard, ride motorcycles, shoot things. Explains the demonizing men for dating younger. The old hags want around their age. Well said, who? Spending time with two women at the same time is an amazing experience. There you go. Life's all about experience, right? It was a nightmare, huh? Compared to being a single guy having sex with multiple different women and using condom is actually pretty much rewarding. We need to outlaw OnlyFans and prawn. Man, not going to happen. Life was pretty good until around 11 or 12 when I started to notice young girls maturing. Yep. I think I was about 13. Most women can sleep with men anytime they want as long as they come off as soft and sweet, not really overweight, super skinny. Sure. Well said. Playing in the dirt, riding in the wind on my bike, drinking from the hose, putting a little playing card on the back of your wheel and making it sound like a motorcycle. Remember you guys would do that? You put the little playing card, you tape it to the back where the brakes were, if it was a BMX, and then, or whatever, and it would sound like a motorcycle. Women want two types of men, either dependable and reliable or a man with a challenging personality who is interesting. Bad guys are not reliable, but it's challenging to date them. Rich men. Well, yeah, absolutely, Anthony. The unpredictability of the bad guys is what they love, the challenge. Watched Epic Later Lead with Cartier, John Cardiel. Guy sounds like he did too many rocks. Probably. Motorcycle is therapy, no two ways about it. Get that wind in your face. That's why I like mountain biking. I like the wind in my face. I am single at 53. I don't think I would ever go below 35 with women. There's just no substance at that point, right? They're so different than us. I think that the root cause of the cock thing, low self-esteem plus too much prawn plus degenerate women equals, you know what? I agree with that statement. So there's a lot of things you can do as a man, but the chat today was all about the first girlfriend and what I learned from it and what other men probably learned as well. The power of the female. Not only her looks, her charm, her body, the way she can make her body make you feel, what you give up to want to have that again and again and again, right? These are all principles. Watching the off-grid skater guys lately, interesting how you can skate such. There's dudes that rip today that aren't even pro, that are just killing it. Dang, Christian, in McDonald's. I buy the McDonald's. Sounds like you were a Chad. I used to make a cabin with sticks and play Hot Wheels in caves and streets. Even then, it shows that building something is ingrained in us. Yeah, absolutely. Remember playing with the Tonka trucks? Building shit, taking apart things, putting them back together. That's why Legos are so popular with men, even older men. They love to build things, take them apart, put them back together. How many bikes have you had stolen in your life? I never had one bike. I had a skateboard stolen, and I was really bummed because I saved up all my money for that dog town. I would say for me at least 5, and it all happened because I locked the bike up while seeing a movie. So your bike got stolen when it was locked up? Damn. The Bull Dyke boss of the bookstore always F with me because I talk to girl customers. Well, you were her competition, Wolf. Often the first girlfriend begets the addiction. Interesting. Yeah, I'd agree with that. These principles that you said are still alive and well in modern relationships. Sure. It's the men today that they kiss that woman coming out of a divorce, and it goes back. It's the biology. It's the charm. It's the way her biology can make you feel. And what happened? Same thing that happened at 14 could have happened to me at 50. My life gets hijacked. The things that I like to do could have been hijacked. In fact, a lot of it was in marriage. I gave up a lot, but it was for the better of the family. But it is what it is. Legos are great. My boys love them. I want to get into carpentry and metalworking. I think my boys, both of them, probably between them, have $5,000 to $6,000 in Legos, and they buy the expensive ones too, the $300 ones. If I'd stayed with my high school girlfriend, I'd have lived an unremarkable life, but I'd probably still be married. She was a decent gal in hindsight. I still talk to my high school girlfriend. Every now and again, she'll send me an email or a text. She's still married a beta male. She's only with him because he provides insurance through his job. Her kids are all grown. No bike stolen here. I had front wheels collapse on me in traffic. Damn. That is unfortunate. Women are very difficult today. The narrative of women, just to approach them, is not like it was in the 80s or the 90s. They marry predictable rich men because of stability, but non-rich guys are neither unpredictable nor stable or dependable. Chads are unpredictable. Well said. Chads are a challenge. John Doe yeeted himself in 06, another casualty of the adult biz. Yeah, a lot of them do. You can go on YouTube and look at all the dead prawn stars. People like have tributes to them, how they died, when they died, how old they were. A lot of self-deletions, a lot of overdoses, a lot of alcoholism for these young women. Literally, they're all drunk, every day of the week to do these scenes. Could have married your ex, but my life would have been boring. Yeah, I look back at my girlfriend, not the first, but the girlfriend I had that I really liked that was a senior and I was a sophomore. It wouldn't have worked either. She went massively libtard. Metalworking is good stuff, man. Women today are abrasive. Sure, a lot of them. What's the scoop with your parents' friends? Do they all stay together, married? Most of my parents' friends are still married. Yes. A couple of them got divorced, but I'd say 80% are still married. The fact that women want to have sex and have children and also want to take advantage of it as well shows you that a woman's accountability is blacklisting. Sure. We just have two different styles. We can't fix women. We can't fix female nature. It is what it is. Let hypergamy be your guide. That's it. Let hypergamy. She's not yours. It's just your turn. Hypergamy is never satisfied. If you are a Chad and a badass, she loves that for the first 3 months and then she wants to change you into a beta male. Hypergamy is never satisfied. And you become a beta male, then she doesn't like the fact that you're a beta male. She disrespects you. She doesn't love you anymore. She can't stand you, which happens to most men in marriages. And then she monkey branches or divorces you because she wants to now her hypergamy needs to be satisfied by unpredictable Chads. It's really that simple. So let hypergamy be your guide. That she is not yours. It's just your turn. And if you understand that, you're not going to invest an emotion, a feeling, physical, money, spiritual. You're not going to invest. You're knowing that, you know what? If it lasts tomorrow, great. If it lasts after today, great. If it doesn't, I'm fine. But most men get so attached that first meeting, the first time that she wants to see him, he's attached. Let hypergamy be your guide. Do you think that women's sex drive increases or goes away? That's a great. I know someone that loves sex. Love it. I know some that don't. I think it was the right person. Like, I think if this woman was, again, a lot of them love Chads. They love the challenge. I think that will always turn a woman on. The fact, if a man begins to like the woman, she's out. She now disrespects the man because he's been weakened. He's been weakened by his emotions. Women do not like weak men. That's why they like Chads. Chads are not weakened by their emotions in the beginning. I think some Chads become weak, but for the most part, the bad boys, the alcoholics, the felons, they don't get weakened. They don't tell them they love them. They don't tell them they want to see him. And so the woman loves the idea of him not loving him. Women actually love the idea, the majority of women love the idea of a man giving in to being non-emotional. They love that. The moment you become emotional, and go back, those that have been married, go back and remember when you got married, it was fine for those first little bit, and then it wasn't. I like those little RC trucks. I see guys on the trail with them all the time. They look pretty fun. A lot of them have BPD and take meds. Well said, Singletown Boucher. Good to see you. Check out his channel. I think a bar with an indoor sand pit with RC, construction, excavators, loafers, and dump trucks would be a stress relief for men. Well said, brother. Just build something. Go out and learn woodworking. Go build a table. Go build a dresser. Go build some shelves. Do you think your testosterone went up when you divorced or no? I don't think it went up. It didn't go down either. Singletown says he loves sex, but it's not worth it anymore. Well, yeah, it can be dangerous to a man today. I have to tell my lady friend upstairs, no, I'm the first guy to refuse. There you go. You still hanging out with her? Is she attached yet? Even if you're good at playing both sides. The moment you show an emotional aspect of yourself, you are now weak in her eyes. Let's repeat that. The emotion, and it happened rad. The moment you show an emotional attraction to her, you tell her that she's important to you. You tell her that you're liking her. You are now weak in her eyes. That is called female nature, friends. That is called female nature. Think about all the guys that push earth now, Trogue, construction. They probably love playing with Tonka toys. And now they're doing it in real life. Yeah, I figured she'd be attached. She'll bail when she sees a bigger and better deal. Telling a woman you love her, telling a woman that she's the most important part of yourself of your life has now weakened you. You are now weak in her eyes, and that respect will never come back. After divorce, I won't put up with a crazy or boundary jumping. Good for you, brother. Jet, I'm 51. If there was an oopsie, I'd be pushing 70 before the kid was grown. It's a big risk. Yep. Can you believe that? I got snipped when she was 6 months pregnant with my youngest. So I've been snipped for 20 years. Yeah, because he's going to be 19 or 20. Can you imagine? I got a buddy that knocked a chick up at 45. My first and only girlfriend, I made the mistake of telling her about my slush fund for a house. Right away, she tried to turn it into her vacation fund. That was the end of it. No worries. No surprise. Peter Binkowski, good to see you. Where are you from, brother? Never tell a woman what you have either. Well, it depends on the woman, right? But for the most part, keep a lot of things mystery. I guess the only way to win with women is to be stoic most of the time with snippets of emotion. Stoicism is the way. When you have sex and have gone solo sexual a good while, you start seeing how sex, a mental thing for men. It's sad they look so good, but there's nothing underneath the hood of these used cars. Well said, brother. My ex and I signed divorce documents last Wednesdays. Never again. Oh, almost a week into it. Yeah, congrats, Trogue. It was a little painful for the first week. People go, it doesn't hurt. It hurts. He cut it 2 places and then burned the ends. Canada, Peter from Canada. We got Trogues from Canada, Bolos from Canada, Dax from Canada. Got some good Canadians out here. Hopefully you're in Alberta. But what was I saying? So getting snipped. So apparently your vas deferens, I think that's what it is, if they don't, so he snipped it in 2 places and then he cauterized it. So yeah, it's gonna fucking hurt. People go, oh, I put the frozen peas on it for 2 days, it still hurt. It swelled up like a goddamn ball. And most guys are like, yeah, I was back to work on Monday, no problems. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, you probably got snipped in 1 place. He snipped it in 2 places. If you don't snip it in 2 places and cauterize it, which is burning the ends, it can grow back. Did you know that? Vasectomies can grow back together. And you can have a kid. Yep, same thing with me, Trogue. That's how long it lasted, about 8 days. Cost me $275 cash back in 2005. Anyone want to buy a Canada Cup gray jersey? Gretzky was great. Painful, but more in terms of lost opportunity. She made more than... I'm glad I got a vasectomy. A lot of people are against them, but for me, I didn't want any more kids. Our neighbor got a vasectomy. He went to my same doctor like 4 months after I got mine done. This is what happens. So they had twins. Boy and a girl twins is their firstborn. He gets a vasectomy. The next day he flies to the East Coast from Oregon. Okay, number one, no, you don't do that. Your balls are swollen up. So he's in massive pain. He just delays his healing by a ton. And then he got home and nailed his lady. And she got pregnant. Just because they cut your wiener, your vas deferens, doesn't mean that you are sterile. You still have 70 in the chamber. You got to go and get it. And I went and got mine tested. You whack off in a cup, and a week later, yep, Nurse Betty called me. Mr. Rad, it looks like you're sterile. And that was a great day hearing that. Oh yeah, I remember. And smelling it, Trogue. I smelled it. Burning flesh or burning pee-pee. My buddy got one. Every time he gets off, feels like he is dying or something. Depends on who does it. I went to an old guy that played jazz. He'd done 10,000 of them. But yeah, for me, it's fine. I don't regret having that. So mine can't reattach right now. Sure. I mean, is there 100%? I mean, maybe God wants them to reattach and he'll make them reattach, but no, for the most part, I'm sterile anyway. So I could get my brother got his vasectomy reversed, dipshit. Yes, it does, T-Tox. It sure does. The smell of it. The VA messed him up. Interesting. How long were you able to go back to work or even work? I worked out of the house, so it didn't matter. It was just walking around and getting in step. That was one of my ball sack, like swole up to the size of a softball. It was huge. I heard the military balls smoke, but seeing it, smoking slime balls. It's funny. Yes, they did. They changed today. Spring forward, fall backwards. We're an hour ahead. It's actually literally 10:30. It's messing with my fasting. Interesting. Probably your biggest regret. Watch the video again. There you go. Female hypergamy is real. It's always there. Yeah, we just accept it. It's good. Let it be. Let it guide you. When hypergamy doesn't guide you, that's when people suffer. We had to learn that. They can use a needle to harvest sperm. Yeah, I'm done. The doctor is like, hey, you have 2 kids now. What happens if something happens and there's a miscarriage or something? I said, well, then I'll have 2. I'm not going anymore. This is it. Spring break is all about next week, man. That's when it starts. They're all down and you go, girl weekend. Woohoo! All those girls monkey branching their boyfriends are down in Florida and South Padre Island and Cabo. Woo! Gonna be drinking. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of debauchery, a lot of trespassing, Yeah, sorry about that, Trogue, as well. Watching Benny Hill lately, missed that kind of calm. Benny Hill was good stuff. You will outlive her, I guarantee it. Keep that fighting spirit. Pedro says, my first was a Jewish vegetarian. Interesting. How was that? Jewish vegetarian. Yeah, it felt a little weird. I was more concerned about having the semen, how it was going to work. And the wife at the time took care of that like a week into it, and it worked fine. The doctor said semen would be about 15% less because of a vasectomy, so I'd retain the 85% of the typical ejaculation amount, but I haven't really noticed anything. Getting bombed and getting screwed, says Mega, the true human nature of spring break. It's going back to Sodom and Gomorrah times. Funny how they don't count a lot of guys they bang as they don't count. They forget. They forget the schlong party. It hurted to urinate when I got back from Korea. Did you have the itchy scratchies? Having a beard is a toxic thing nowadays, but artificial makeups and filters are allowed. No dice. At least beard is. Well, yeah, it's always a double standard, right, Anthony? Never sweat the women. 90s slang advice. What about NWA? I ain't the one. You guys want to hear a Red Pill rap song? I Ain't the One by NWA, 1986, almost 40 years ago. What about George Michael, Everything She Wants, total Red Pill song. Morrissey, Break Up the Family, another Red Pill song. Mike, good to see you. How was the massage parlor? Did you get a nice, oh man, I slept like crap last night. I need a good massage. I got to get a better pillow. What kind of pillows you guys like? Good for you. Had a good time. Hey, you're in control. You're the captain of your plane, brother. You fly it when you want, where you want, how you want. That's it. I Ain't the One. Go listen to it. NWA, man. Ice Cube. Ice Cube. Dr. Dre. Eazy-E's talking about women back then. I tweaked my neck and it helped. Good. I need to go to a massage. I thought probably a chiropractor to straighten me out. But other than that, this has been a great show with you guys. Literally, what did we learn? Nothing new. I learned at a very young age what a woman's biology could do to my biology. Knowing is half the battle, right? He likes the head massage. I got my cranium, my skull massage. That is very good. The temples. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Attaboy, Singletown. Good to see you again. Morrissey is hated by the woke homos now. Yep. Well, he's all about borders, language, and cultures. He's a lot more conservative than we thought. I mean, liberal in terms of his weirdness, but at least he's more conservative in keeping countries and boundaries together. He's pretty outspoken. But he had a song called Break Up the Family, all about a woman leaving because she was unhappy. So interesting. Lots of songs talk about it. Had a great time chilling with good men here, just trying to survive. Attaboy. You guys be good. Check out all of the streams going on. Singletown Bachelor does streams. Gone with John. Who else we got? Sam Fisher. Convicts, Whoop Her Ass. I haven't heard that song. I'd like to hear it. I'm going to write that down. Convicts, Whoop Her Ass. Cold oil that evaporates gives a lot of pleasure. Interesting. Results. I'm not happy. A lot of them aren't. I'd rather rent a woman, at least if she makes you mad, it's done after an hour. Attaboy. Well, they all need space, right? We'll see you on the next one, guys. I'm out. Have a great Sunday and stay safe. Peace.